Good day, everybody. Good day. Hey, I'm feeling good because I feel spring in the air. I feel spring is in the air. I'm so excited. Welcome. Good day. Wayne, Mommy, Tim, Vanessa. Good morning, everybody. I hope everyone is doing well. Welcome to Morning Sip with Rev Melissa, and Sip is spirit and practice. Spirit and practice. And so let's get into it because you're going to have to help me today, y'all, because I might go full blown into a sermon. So you'll just keep an eye on me. Keep an eye on me. All right. So, yes. Hey, Patricia. Hey, Kathy. So we are in our Lent series, our Lent series, and we started yesterday giving some background about Lent, right? So I just want to give a little recap of that, right? So Easter, right? Lent is about Easter. We're in our Lent season. And so, there's a formula to the Easter date, right? You know this, right? Because Easter is always a different day. So there's a formula. So this is the formula. The spring equinox plus the Pascal full moon equals Easter, right? So Easter is always after the spring equinox, the full moon after the spring equinox, and that following Sunday is Easter. So that's how you can figure out when Easter is. Okay. So look for the spring equinox, look for the full moon after that, which is the Pascal full moon. And then the following Sunday after that full moon, after that full moon is Easter. That's the formula. All right, y'all. I just love that. So Pascal. So I went down the moon. I went down the moon well, y'all. I got fascinated about this Pascal moon. And then I said, Red Melissa, save that for one of the meditations with the moon later on in the month. So we're going to have a meditation with the moon, the Pascal moon, later on in the month. But Pascal means Passover. Who knew? Who knew? All right. So y'all see how all this symbolism, right? You see how all this is coming together. So I'm not going to get into so much the Christian aspect of Easter. I want to focus us on the metaphysical aspects of it. Because Easter, the story around Easter is around, the resurrection of Jesus the Christ. The symbolism of it is about the sun rising, right? SUNNSON, right? So it's pagan practices, and there's a whole, fertility goddess ritual that's centered around it, and the sun rises in the east. It's really fascinating. So I went all in. And then I said, okay, come back. Maybe that will be a sip where we could talk about the spring fertility goddess called Easter. But that is not today's sip. Today's sip, we are talking about Lent, right? And the metaphysical aspects of Lent, right? So we're exploring it from an interfaith perspective, right? So being a ordained interfaith minister is important to be able to incorporate different points of view, different faiths into what we can use, right? So Lent is used by Christians, but what I'm inviting us to do is to look at Lent as an opportunity for us to use a mystical tool. Yesterday I said that Lent can be used as a mystical tool. So that's how we're looking at Lent. Okay? So from a metaphysical perspective, Lent is a voluntary retreat from the world to prepare for our resurrection from false beliefs, error thinking, and denial of our innate divinity. And that's a quote from Reverend Bill and Cher Halton. They're ministers I think they're out in North Carolina. So I love that they say a resurrection from false beliefs. So we can rise, y'all. We can rise. Jesus the Christ rose, and so can we, and so do we, right? So we're looking at the components of Lent. And one of the components we're going to focus on today is fasting, right? And fasting, we know, is all about releasing and letting go. Releasing and let it go. The conversation is usually, what are you giving up for Lent? What did you give up for Lent? Right? That's usually the conversation. So that is a question. What are you ready to release? What are you ready to let go? Right? And the invitation is to let go of false beliefs, let go of limiting beliefs, let go of the idea and the consciousness of separation, right? To let those things go. Because you know what? If we could let go of limiting beliefs, then it'll be easier to let go of, the chocolate. It'll be easier to let go of binge watching TV all day. If we could let go of limiting beliefs of separation, if we could let go of limiting beliefs that we're not here on purpose by divine assignment, if we could let those things go, we will be making higher choices for ourselves, higher choices, right? So the invitation is to rise up in what it is that we want to release, to bump it up a level, right? To bump up that which you want to release. That's the invitation. And there's still time because we're still in Lent. This is day 21. So, it's 40 days. So we still got time. So we're releasing from thinking one thing and feeling another. Releasing from thinking one thing and feeling another. We have to be in alignment. In alignment. And so, just like it happens very often. A lot of times when I'm doing my spiritual practice, my inspirational reading is in alignment with what I'm going to talk about. It's in alignment with the theme. And sure enough, that happened today. So I want to read just a piece from today's Science of Mind magazine. Those of you who subscribe to the Science of Mind magazine, it's a wonderful magazine, and they have these wonderful daily guides. So this is part of my spiritual practice every day. And so today, the topic is individuality, a different look. So think about this in the context of releasing, right? So in Luke 11:17, we read, every kingdom which is divided against itself shall be destroyed, and a house which is divided against itself shall fall. Metaphysically, right? Because we're looking at this from a metaphysical lens. Metaphysically, the kingdom refers to that which is within, and the house means our consciousness. So when our minds are separate from our hearts, or our thoughts are separate from our feelings, we experience confusion and discord. Most people don't realize they walk around in this state of duality. They think one way and feel another. Our practice then is to bring the house into one accord where mind and heart are one. So we can release that. We can release our heart and our mind not being one, not being a one accord, right? Not being a one accord. That's a wonderful, powerful thing to release, right? So if you're having the experience of your life where there's a lot of discord, what are you thinking? What are you feeling? Is it in alignment? If your quality of God is compassion, but you're thinking about how you can't stand this person, how you can't stand that person, then guess what? There's discord, there's disharmony, there's disconnection. So we can release that. We can release that limiting belief. We can release the idea of separation. So that's lit to me, y'all. That gets me fired up. Yes, yes, yes. The notion of that. The notion of that. So release from living divided within ourselves instead of united. What you saying, David? I saw on Christ Universal Temple Facebook page a definition of Lent that defines it as let's eliminate negative thinking. Yes. And I would add to that, let's eliminate negative feelings. We could feel our feelings, right? I'm not saying don't feel your feelings. I'm not advocating for spiritual bypasses. However, we don't have to wallow in our feelings. We feel them, we get the information, and we come back into alignment, right? I love that, David. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, I love all of that. So Lent is a powerful mystical tool, right? And if you missed last week's mystical series, you missed a lot. So get caught up and listen to mystical last week on my YouTube channel, because we know that the mystical practice is the practice of union between our soul and God, union of our soul with the divine. Yes? Yes. So using Lent from a metaphysical perspective as a mystical tool will get you right. Will get you right. All right, y'all. So the invitation, let's use Lent, the Lent season, to release mindsets, behavior patterns, limiting, and self-sabotaging beliefs. Self-sabotaging beliefs. Let's release that, right? If we release setups, right? I look at self-sabotaging as like a setup. I'm setting myself up. What I'm setting myself up for? If I could release those thoughts, right? And come into alignment with my joy, then I'm not going to eat a whole bag of Pepperidge Farms Brussels cookies. Am I? If my incantation is if my incantation is I am a receptive channel for God's abundance, God's quickening, and my well-being, right? But then I'm thinking something that's not in alignment with that, and then what am I doing? I'm eating a whole bag of Pepperidge Farm Brussels. Is that good for my well-being? I don't think so. So what do I do? What do I do? I forgive myself. I pick myself up. I wipe the crumbs off my face. I wipe the crumbs off and I start again. I don't go get another bag and say, oh, well, I ate one bag. I might as well eat another. No, no, right? So Lent is a time of forgiveness too, right? It's a time of forgiveness, especially the things that we need to forgive that we are holding towards ourselves. Yes? All right. All right. So Michael Bernard Beckwith, I talk about him quite often. I had a whole series about the stages of consciousness, and we talked about the stageless stage last week about cosmic consciousness. And so he says this: 100% of spiritual growth is the letting go. I'll give y'all a minute. Y'all can write that down. 100% of spiritual growth is in the letting go. So don't skip over the release. Some of us want to go straight to the feast without doing the release. 100% of spiritual growth is in the letting go. And the letting go is what? Limiting beliefs, right? A mindset of separation, a consciousness of separation. Yes? So we got to let that go. And you know what? We have to be relentless about it. Relentless. Okay? Relentless about it. So let's be relentless about our fasting and our releasing and our letting go. And I love that word relentless, not just because it has Lent in it. Did you catch that? Uh-huh. It has Lent in it. I like the word because this is what it means. It means unyielding, uncompromising, right? Ferocious. That's how we got to be about these things. That's how we have to be about our spiritual growth. We have to be ferocious, right? Relentless, uncompromising. No, I'm no longer going to compromise my joy. I'm no longer going to compromise my abundance. I'm no longer going to compromise my allowing spirit to run through me and as me. I'm no longer going to compromise. I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Because we don't want to feast on the limiting beliefs. We don't. We don't want to feast on that. So we have to let it go. So what are you prepared to let go? What are you prepared to let go? Right? You know what it is. And whatever comes to mind, go deeper. Take it one step deeper and see what's underneath it. Because sometimes we get into the habit of choosing the same thing over and over and over again when there's an invitation for us to take it deeper. So go within and see if that's the case. See if there is something underlining that, something underlining what you think is your core belief, and it isn't. Go within. Go within and be relentless. Ask for clarity. Ask for clarity. It will come. I want to share one other quote, and this is from Ra Jordan, and he wrote a book called The Visioning Guide. He said, all spiritual work is actually the process of subtraction, the releasing of old ideas about us and false beliefs about life. By releasing old ideas and false beliefs, you welcome insights which reveal how to open to your highest good. I love that. The process of subtraction. What do you need to subtract from your life? What do you need to subtract from your beliefs? What do you need to subtract? What no longer serves you? What is no longer part of the equation of your life? It's time to let it go. Oh, I just love that. I just love that. So that's where we are, y'all. I got some homework for y'all. What are you willing to release now? That's the question. What is Spirit's highest idea revealing of what you must release? Ask Spirit what it is that you must release. Sometimes we're asking our subconscious mind, or we ask the question and our subconscious mind is answering, and that answer is old stuff that we get stuck in and we don't take it deeper. We don't take it deeper. So let's be relentless, right? Let's be relentless and ask Spirit. Ask Spirit, what is revealing? What wants to be revealed through me, right? What is Spirit's highest ideas revealing of what must be released? Is a question that Michael Bernard Beckwith asks in the visioning process. So that's your homework. What do you need to release? Go deeper. Go deeper and see if there's something else there. Something else might be there for you. Okay? So when we release, why are we releasing? Because we want to make room for that which is seeking expression through us. It can't be all cluttered up in here. We need some space. We need some space. So we got to release so that we can welcome in, so that we can resurrect, so that we can rise up. Yes? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. All right. I think I did pretty good. I was sure I was going to go into like 12 o'clock, but I did good. I did good. So that's our relentless for today. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about feasting. We're going to talk about feasting. So please do your homework in the morning or in the evening tonight when you do your spiritual practice. Use the mystical tool of Lent and ask the question, what am I ready to release? And you are ready, beloveds. You are ready to release it. Okay? All right, y'all. All right. So I am Rev Melissa. I'm an ordained interfaith minister, a licensed religious science practitioner, and a purpose coach. And that is my ministry of joy, where I support people in living life in joy, connected to their yes. And if you need help and support with the release, if you need help and support with the limiting beliefs that are running your life, and you are just in disharmony and disarray, DM me, reach out to me. We can set up some time to talk. If you would like to support my ministry of joy, you can do so at Cash App and Venmo. This is This right here, y'all. This is my work. This is what I do. I work with joy. I do these inspirational sermonettes, if you will, and I work with people one on one. I do workshops and, just whatever it is that is the expression of joy coming through as me. So I appreciate you supporting my work. All right, y'all. So we're living life in joy, connected to our yes. And now it's time for some joy news. Yes, it is. It's time for some joy news. So I had three things today. One, meditating with the new moon is happening this Friday, March 13th at 4 a.m. on Zoom only. Registration is open now. People are already registering. I love that. So please register. When you register, you will receive an email with the Zoom link. Okay? So, two, this Sunday is a two-first Sunday. You know what that means. We got Living Life in Joy at 10:30 Eastern Time. And my special guest, we're continuing the celebration of Women's History Month. And I have a dynamic, magnificent woman that I want to introduce the congregation to. And that is Jay White. And she is the founder and creator of Project Love Strong. So please join me on Sunday for Living Life in Joy. And then the twofer on Sunday is I'm speaking at my spiritual home, Rockland Centers for Spiritual Living, at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. You can watch us on Facebook Live at the Center's Facebook page, or you could join us in the room in the Zoom room by going to the Center's website and clicking on the Sunday service link on Sunday. All right. And guess what my topic is, y'all? I told y'all the other day, but guess what? The topic is release and let go. And I don't come up with the topics. The topics are created by the larger organization of Centers for Spiritual Living. So these topics were created last year, right? So I was like, okay, all right, God, I see you. I see you. I love it. So release and let go is my topic. And then the third thing I want you to remember is the podcast. Please support the podcast, Sit with Rev Melissa. You can listen to the full sacred series. You could binge listen to it. How about that? All of the episodes are loaded up on the podcast of the sacred series. The last one was Sacred Relationships, and it's a good one. It's a good one. So please support that. You can listen on Spotify, and I'm now on Apple. So I was excited to get that notification that I'm now on Apple. So check me out. All right. So those are the three things: the moon, Live Life in Joy, the two first Sunday, speaking, and the podcast. All right. All right, y'all. So support New Thought Media Network. You can do so by going to their website, ntmedia.org. Support the good news, the joy news, and the wonderful programming that they are doing. All right. So I will see you tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, right here. And we're going to continue our Lent series. All right, y'all. So peace and blessings, peace and justice. We're living life in joy, connected to our yes.